Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Saturday, the 6th of July. Well, disappointing on the horses, very disappointing. I apologise for that. So let me get on to the football bet. So as you're aware, the football bet, unfortunately, Germany lost. I didn't see the match. Apparently, they were the better team towards the end, but they're out, so it doesn't really matter. I still got Portugal running, and it was like a cover bet. I don't know why I'm calling it a cover bet, but it was Portugal versus England in the final, and you are well aware of my. In fact, it was £30 in the end, £30 stake on England to reach the final. Am I an England fan? No. Am I probably watching it? Who knows? But I've just got a hunch it's been made easier for England, and I've been proved right so far. But it doesn't matter yet because it's the first test and first test on Saturday. But I'm not that interested in football anymore, to be fair. But as you're well aware, I'm not really selling this football bet, am I? So let me get into it. So I've picked an angle where I don't think any other tipster may be picking on Saturday. There's a change in the weather. There's quite a lot of rain knocking around, and I've looked at the forecast twice for Haydock, and I've looked on radar rainfall, and it crossed straight across Haydock racecourse. Then a bit later on, it missed it. But I must say, radar rainfall. Well, obviously the name gives it away. It gives you the radar of the rain as it's passing by, and I've seen it in the past where it's completely missed it, but it's absolutely hammered it down at the location I was tracking. So it's not that reliable. But I've looked on Google weather as well, and it says rain. I've looked on Racing Post. They give it in brackets, don't they, what the weather's going to be, and it says rain there as well. So what I've also looked at, so the angle that is a bit different than everybody else is there's also quite a bit of wind picking up come race time. So I've looked at Haydock and I've checked out the weather the wind direction. The wind direction is behind the horses when they enter the home straight. So basically, it's a tailwind. Tailwinds normally, when they're racing, it favours those horses that race towards the front. So I've tried to select horses that race prominently, but I've had to fancy them in the first place. So I'm going to talk you through it. Also, Sandown, it's the opposite. In the home straight or the straight course, it's a headwind, and I've selected. I think I've allowed one or two horses at that meeting anyway. Nottingham is just going to be a bit wet and windy. I've not really used the wind for that course, but there is going to be some rain, and I don't think it's going to be good to firm. So let me get onto it. So the first bet is basically it's a mixture of fancied horses and big price horses that I like the look of. The big price horses, some of them are a bit risky because I think one or two of the races there's only 8 runners, but I shall talk you through it when I get to it. So it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 63, £12.60 stake, and I've left the prices on all of them. So the first selection is the most interesting horse of the day. Games people play in the 2 at Haydock, paying 5 places instead of 3. I think this horse has been laid out for this race. This horse is crying out for this trip. It's been campaigned over. I think its first run ever was over a mile. Then it's been raced over 1 mile 2 exclusively. This horse has been stepped up. I think it's half a mile tomorrow to 1 mile 6 furlong. It's a horse that races prominently. It's Ralph Beckett. I've actually interviewed Ralph Beckett, but I just thought I'd tell you that. He was driving a horse box to Salisbury at the time. So this horse will also appreciate, in my opinion, the slower ground. It's an unknown going into the extra half a mile, but it's supposed to appreciate it. And Ralph Beckett, I think, has been preserving the handicap mark by running out of 1 mile 2 when it's been crying out for further, and it's actually been staying on in its races, so it does look as though it will stay. I do believe it should be in the first 5. It's got to race prominently because it's drawn 1. There's no point holding the horse up being from store 1 because you're going to be absolutely miles behind. If that's the case, it's got no chance. Just what I mentioned. So the kind of nap of the day One of the more interesting ones is Dual Identity. In the 225 at Sandown, paying 4 places instead of 3. This is a hold-up horse that likes to weave its way through horses. It'll be sat towards the rear, and hopefully they go off too quick into the headwind, and basically they come to a standstill. And this horse, I've seen it in some races in the past when I haven't backed it and I haven't fancied it. It came absolutely. I think it was actually a favourite one of those days, and it absolutely it won really easily. It just flew by horses. So I like the look of it. It's Dual Identity. It's about 9-1. Maybe I should have took the price. I don't know, but I haven't. And that's the second selection. The third selection is one of the more interesting horses. Unfortunately, there's 8 runners, but I'm backing what I believe. It ran a decent race at Royal Ascot for Jamie Osborne. Not a fan of the stable, but they can get them ready. It's a front runner, and there is a lack, or there is a distinct lack of front runners in this race. In the past, when I think it was running in Germany, I'm not sure, it tended to make the running. It handles slower ground. Saffie Osborne's on board. If this gets an easy lead, it could be quite difficult to pass. Don't get me wrong, I know it's the outside lot. It may come to an absolute standstill with 2 furlongs to go. They may even hold it up, but my impression is they'll go to the front with it, and hopefully it gets an easy lead and can stretch them, and will enter the home straight first and benefit from the tailwind. So the fourth selection is Exponential. In the 250 at Beverley, paying 5 places instead of 3. Beverley, I'm also sure there's a headwind there as well. So hopefully that will affect the front runners in that race. In fact, I've got that wrong. there is a headwind, sorry, and we don't want it to affect the runners. It's a dreadful race, but this horse has been campaigned on the all-weather only. It may show some improvement going to turf. It's the sire is Churchill, so if there's a bit of rain, it will appreciate the slower conditions. And it's literally forecast from now till race time, on and off. The rain is, so it could be much slower. This horse, it tends to it can be quite keen, but it's also got a lot of pace. So Brian Smart does like a winner at Beverley. I'm sure he won the Beverley Super Sprint, or is it Beverley Bullet? It's a 2-year-old race. Anyway, I don't think the Beverley Bullet is a 2-year-old race. Hillary Needler, he won it with, was it 150 to 1 chance, 125 to 50? Anyway, I'm losing track of that. But he had a big price with it. It's Brian Smart again, and is one to keep an eye on. The next selection is more of a form fancied horse. It should race prominently, so it's Chillingham in the 315 at Haydock, and the Old Newton Cup, paying 6 places instead of 4. The next selection is Limarty Dreams, and this is also a front runner. Last time it was pestered in the lead and didn't really run its race, but if it gets an easy lead, it could be hard to pass. And it's Carlberg. It's a big price. I think it's 28-1. Don't get me wrong, these big prices, it's always fingers crossed and you need a bit of luck. But I do think it's got a chance. And paying 5 places instead of 3, running from the front with a tailwind, you've got half a chance. So that's the lucky 63. So the next bet is 20. Basically, I've chucked 24 quid in. No, I am. I've chucked £20 in, and this is basically the last bit of it. So it's a 24 pence each way. Lucky 15 comes to £7.20. So the first selection, I've gone in again on games people play in the 2 at Haydock, paying 5 places instead of 3. I've explained all these already, apart from the ones that I haven't. Dual Identity, I've actually took the price in, but not knowingly, at 9-1 in the 225 at Sandown, paying 4 places instead of 3. The third selection is Chillingham. Sorry, I can see a selection that's out of shot, and I was looking at that one. Chillingham in the 315 at Haydock, in the Old Newton Cup, paying 6 places instead of 4. And finally, a different selection. So I was in two minds in the 5:35 at Nottingham, because Jonathan Portman had got a runner there and it ran well last time. But I just think this horse, for me, it's between them two. Gert Lush in the 5:35 at Nottingham, paying 4 places instead of 3. Megan Jordan rides this one quite regularly. It comes from off the pace. It normally finishes well. It's one, I think, off this mark of 63 as well. She gets on well with it. It's got to run a race, and it handles quick and slow ground. So if the ground changes and it goes slower, then this horse, I think what it might do, it might rule a few of the others out, and it's an extra tick in this horse's box. So those are all the selections for Saturday. So if you can give me, you're probably not even here now, but if you can give me a like or a subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. For those that are shouting England on, good luck to you. For those that have got financial interest in England, good luck again. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.